into your hands our lives. We thank you that you have created us.
Okay. Let's see here. Alright, we can get some camera. There we go. So I'm sorting out, looking into a lot of TV channels, I guess, streaming from the internet, sorting out and all that. And really, I really have only found one single one that I really that I think that is pretty good. It's really going more to the. I can probably find some issues there as well, but sadly it's in Hebrew, so I can understand some of it and I can see what they are doing and all that, and it looks pretty good. And they have some Hebrew messianic music and all that. I like it, and it looks pretty good, compared to. Then I found one Jewish channel, but again, they, that was a good when I found it, that was a good document in regards of history, in regards of Israel, and how it all comes together and so forward, and in regards to the land of Israel. That was pretty good. But then I saw, then there was this so-called rabbi, a woman so-called rabbi, and just, I don't want that kind of things on the, I don't know about these TV channels. I think a lot of these programs are like, then it's just not, I guess, and sometimes, it's just wonder, like, no wonder Christianity is is at its place. Some of the best channels that I guess I have found, where it's like, oh, it sounds like it's biblical and all that, right? They're pretty much the SDA, but that's slick as well, because they don't say they're SDA, That's one of them I know was SDA. The other ones I had to discern. You're getting these vibes in regards of SDA vibes, and it's like And then you're looking, and sometimes it slips out in regards of Ellen G. White. It's like, oh my, I'm on an SDA channel again. It's like, oh, it's just yeah. Anyway, I just hit into another. I think I found like 5 or 6 SDA channels or something like that. That's a good amount of the. And I found one of them, it sounded pretty good, in regards, he was talking about, the Passover, first fruit, and, such things, Sukkot and all that. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty good, that doesn't really sound like SDA. And then he mentions Ellen G. White. I was like, oh my. I was like, oh, come on, not again, But we was actually going into the Old Testament in regards to the festivals of Jehovah. And so that sounded pretty good. And it didn't say anything about being an SDA. And yet, You do get the vibes, there's some, but they're very subtle compared to some of the others. I don't know how to. I really don't. I really don't know what to. They're standing for who the Antichrist is. That's top dollar. That's very few that actually stands for that today. But some of their doctrines in regard, just. And how they slip underneath, like they're not coming out and saying they're SDA. I guess the Jehovah's Witnesses actually just tell their Jehovah's Witnesses, well, actually, that's also false, actually, in some sense, because they don't believe that Yeshua is God. So, they don't believe he's Jehovah. Yeah, it's incredible. So, but at least, they're saying, this is... I think they usually say it when they come by. I think I remember that. Yeah, yeah, we're from this and that and all that, and yeah, I think they actually say it. While the SDA is more slick, they are, and I saw this, I began to see this pattern, when I was looking into prophecy and all that. Oh, I hit into these SDAs, and I didn't want SDA sources, and they didn't say they were SDA, only, until they get you into, and then, oh, it's an SDA thing, it's like, oh my, not to say that, some of that they have are pretty good, but at least be honest in regards of being coming from SDA, so people know, so it doesn't come, it's just it feels really deceptive. And the guy that had been a former SDA also told about this, they're told how to not tell that they're from the SDA in the beginning and then slip it in, later on. That's just deceptive. And that's the thing that I also sensed from them. So anyway. They have a lot of good things as well, so it's not all bad. They're very close to a lot of truth, like the 7-day, they have the 7-day correct. I do think they are putting too much info, and that's one of the false doctrines as well, I think, in regards of the mark of the beast and all that. Well, the mark of the beast is a number of a man, and the number is 666, isn't it? So, so I don't see it as a specific day. Now, it is one of the 10 commandments in regards to the 7th day, in regards to the Sabbath and all that. It's the blessed day. But the mark of the beast, that's like, in regards of Alberto Rivera, and he's talking to these SDAs guys, and probably 2 of them was actually, but one of the SDAs and Alberto Rivera might actually have been murdered, both of them. But I don't know. In any case, I can't verify that. But anyway, one died in a flying accident, and I think the other was said to have been poisoned. Yeah. Anyway, that's, I can't verify anything. I don't know them personally or knew them personally, and of course they're dead. So it's, but Keith Green as well, died in a flying accident, and as a story in regards of that, might have been a murder. But anyway, can't verify that either. It wouldn't be a surprise if the Roman Catholic Church was doing these things, because they have been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years. Yeah. But, then we have the SDA and the health stuff, and I'm not, I'm not so fond of that either, because in regards of health stuff, I'm getting the sense of what actually works and what does not work in regards of my health issues, and I think we are totally well, actually, I'm primarily a meat eater now, because there's no sugar in meat, and fungus loves sugar, so. And they're promoting much in regards to the vegetarian thing that I also got into. It's just in regards of health and all that, that might not be the wisest thing when we have fungus all around us that loves sugar, So, yeah. I don't know about this TV, but I guess it was just to test the application out as well in some sense. So I don't know. It's just why can't they just say they're from the SDA, and they're calling it different names and all that. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, oh, this looks like SDA, so I'm getting the sense that this is SDA. They don't say it, so at the beginning, is that you have to look into it and see if there's coming something, LNGY usually comes up at some point, and then then you pretty much know where we are, or if they come with one of their doctrines in regards to the closed door doctrine, or the 7th day in regards of the mark of the beast, which is, I think it's not true. Just read the Bible. It's just it's the number of a man, which is the number of 666. It's not the Saturday. is in regards of the mark of the beast, which is the number 666, whatever. That's really the problematic thing is that they're out there, and some of their falsehoods just when you're studying things, it's just they have a lot of good things as well, but it's just some of the things I'm just totally not agreeing with for sure. But they do, if you look at what they actually believe, a lot of the things are correct, in regards of all their points, I think I pretty much agree with pretty much nearly every single point that they have, except one primary point, that is in regards of Ellen G. White. Now, they don't write Ellen G. White, but that's what the intention is in regards of the spirit of spirit of prophecy, So I don't think Ellen G. White was so I can't accept that. And the thing, I looked into the history of the SDA and all that, and I can't remember what the guy, that first, came up with a date, and then it failed, Yeshua didn't come and all that, and then they put it on another year and all that, and then he, he hopped on that wagon as, apparently some others suggested it, in regards of a year and all that, and then he got fired up again, and then it failed again, and then Miller, he was called Miller. And Miller, as understood that he had been wrong, and yet others couldn't accept that. So they went along with, going further in regards of this doctrine, which was just failed. One thing is to okay, I was wrong. We're wrong and all that. Another thing is just to not accept that they were wrong, and then go further on this. I just don't understand that. Just accept that, hey, okay, we are wrong, Okay, let's get back. Yeah, it's just weird, Like when I was thinking that it was in regards to the Mohammedans and all that, because of this Roman Catholic leading me astray. I didn't know he was a Roman Catholic, and I didn't have all the, I wasn't that experienced at that point. So this looks like a Judaizing, well, not a Judy. What do you call it? Jewish channel.
Oftentimes, when they speak to others, their hearts, and instead of being so spiritual, truly, they're so pitiful, and they need our prayer. Their leaders.
The problem with these channels is when I look at them, I'm like, it's just better to just read the Bible, because it just seems in some sense diluted on many levels, and then there's a lot of things that are like oh no. So yeah, I'm not too happy about these television programs. There's a lot of SDA channels out there. That's for sure. I haven't counted them, but there's one of the. I still have one of them because it had some nature thing in. Some animals, nature. There's a telephone number. Was called something. Let's see here. It's called Better Nature, but it was from Better something. Let's see here. Better Life. And they had different channels and all that. Health channel, food channel. I think it was another health channel. I'm not entirely sure if that was 2 or 1. But that was, and they was talking about women problems and all that, just, when I looked. Then there was this nature channel, which I still have, where it just shows images of creation. And there was some prophecy and all that, and I'm like, okay, prophecy, and like, okay, and I listened a little, and I got the SDA vibe and all that, and I found out that many of these was pretty much SDA, 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 and then I found out that one of the channels that I had, that I found earlier and put on my player actually also is an SDA. He mentioned Ellen G. White. I was like, okay. That's incredible. He was talking about all these festivals of God and all that, and just out of nowhere, Ellen G. White. It was like, oh my, we have another SDA. Incredible. Yeah. Again, it's not all bad. They also have some pretty good stuff as well. But it's just, it's just very slick. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just think it's somewhat dishonest, some of the ways. I wonder what this channel is. Gospel Truth TV, apparently. No idea. Then we have the master thing here. Apparently a hope channel of some kind. Is that a movie? I also saw some, where they made fun, using the Bible and of course the channels was talking about speaking in tongues, this demonic language and such things, yeah. So having a little hard time on these things. But the Jewish channel, was the most interesting thing I found. So that's nice. But again, how many of these channels actually speaks about the Antichrist? Oh yeah, then we have now what is this? And of course, people selling stuff as well. That's a thing also. Well, selling products, selling books, whatever. I was like, I wish everybody could get this book and all that. Well, we have the internet. You can just put it as a PDF freely on the internet if you want the information out there. Like incredible. Oh, no. Maybe I'm just grumpy,
Bring you to your place of favor, to your place of allocation. To your new joy. 1 Kings 17 verse 9, God said to Elijah, go to Zarephath. There I have commanded a widow to feed you. Do you know that some of us who are here today, someone is looking for you with money in their hands, with favor in their hands, with blessings in their hands. Someone is looking for you.
I don't know. No, it's just not really speaking to me in regards of. I saw a little of Michael Rood yesterday. Now again, he was wonderful. He was giving some rebuke. That was nice. And he actually made a pretty good, preaching on that. Yeah, that's more in my, I in regards of Hanukkah, I don't, and all the selling and all this and all that, I don't really, but, that's at least it's closer to what, in regards of the festivals. He has focus on the festivals of Jehovah. The SDA don't keep the festivals of Jehovah. They will just go back to Paul or Ellen G. White and say, well, but Paul says, or but Ellen G. White says. That's, in regards of not keeping the festivals. Go give me a break, So I really don't know. It's really hard for me to understand that people, exposing these pagan festivals that we are keeping, then goes on to promote Hanukkah and Purim. I don't understand, where did that discernment go from from discerning that these, and then we're going to promote festivals which are not found in the Bible and seem to have maybe some issues as well. Anyway, that's my view anyway, and I'm not alone with it. I know others out there have concerns on these things as well, and I think there is a place for this concern. And it's very unpopular to speak against Hanukkah. It's very unpopular. You can get banned, from places. I remember the woman, many years ago that talked against Hanukkah, and she was banned from this place. Now, she was so, what should we say, she looked me up apparently, and she sent me 21 pages on Hanukkah that I read, so with good space between it, so it's not a huge reading, but it's a good amount still. I have the story of Hanukkah and all that, so one can decide for oneself and she got banned, and I got banned talking about it and debating, or whatever you want to call it, in regards of Hanukkah, and then I just got banned from one of these places. It's not unusual that I get banned. I do understand that. It's just, but we can't even talk about it. Wouldn't it be, let's talk about it. Let's have a, in regards, I have these concerns here and there, and it's like they don't want to have these things pointed out, and then you get banned. So I really should pack all the things, because I have a way of forgetting, because there's so many things, and the thing is, I couldn't even remember from last. I just remember that I didn't want to keep Hanukkah. That was my conclusion. I would not keep Hanukkah. That was my conclusion. So of course it's not found in the Torah either, but I had to research a lot of it, and find some of the things that might be problematic, in regards to Hanukkah. 9 candle lights instead of 7. That's not biblical. And the middle candle is called the shamash. If you search on shamash on Google, you will find a pagan solar deity. Now, of course, I do understand they apparently say that shamash means a helper, or it was like 2 words or something. An helper, or what was it? A servant. And I think that might go back to the Aramaic language, but I never got, I was talking about, talking with.
Persecuted, but not forsaken.
It just seems like some of these are just shows, nearly, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, what was it in regards of? Oh yeah, the servant, the shamash. I never got to, we never got to finish the talk because I was banned, talking about these things. In regards of Hanukkah, apparently it's not okay, I don't know.
He made himself of no reputation and took upon him of a servant.
Again, when I look at these things, I'm just much rather just read the Bible for myself. This is, then I can read what I want, and not just a little here and a little there and all that. I can pretty much just concentrate and read it, go directly to the Word of God. This is just, it's just, and how many speaks against the Antichrist? Might be some SDA channels that actually speaks against the Antichrist, but yeah, seems that spinny hen. That's not going to go. Oh, see.
And because if you want to harvest, and he teaches that, he did it himself, he gave his son and harvested us, it's a principle that is only going to bring blessing in your life.
Yeah, it's whatever. That's not for me for sure. I've seen enough from that guy. So that's absolutely not going to work out. What do we have here?
I know you asked me to marry you, but I cannot. And then he just let that settle in the church for a few moments. And then he smiled and said, but God can. Don't expect a pastor to marry you. In fact, it might be wise for us to not even say, I'm going to
I'll have a break.
go get married.
I'll have a battery going low
It would be
here.
wiser for us to say, oh God, would you unite our hearts? Would you?
Uh-oh. Apparently it's closed. It broke. Well, that's great. Well, that's not great. But apparently the player broke. It's typical technology. Well, I guess. Lost all the links as well, as usual. But I guess it doesn't really matter. The 4 of them up here is saved, so... Oh, well. Just... it's not something that really makes me on fire, these programs. I'm just, getting sad to see some of the stuff, and I'm thinking this is... I guess some of the SDA channels might actually stand for who the Antichrist is and all that. So, and again, it's not all the information of the SDA that is...
The God of
they have a lot of good stuff as well, but they just in regards to the mingling of these things, it's just it's just it seems it's just not me, I must say I'm much more to like Michael Root, and it's not everything that I agree, but with him, but and that was always, but at least he's promoting a lot of things that is found in the Bible, actually, it's just in regards to the festivals. Okay, looks like a Jew.
Your heart right now, you sense that God is doing something, and you're not even quite sure how to respond. I just want you to know the person that you're feeling.
This is actually what is calling discovering the Jewish Jesus. That seems better.
And we're going to live life together. Listen,
Um,
if you'd like to invite Jesus into your heart right now, all you have to do is say, Jesus, please forgive me.
Jesus was a Jew.
Come into my life and save me. I want to
Indeed, he wasn't a Roman. Well, he was under the Roman Empire at that point, right? Okay. Well, anyway, I guess the battery will run low, and I guess I'll just keep on looking at these. I guess it's also more as an example. I know it works now in the player, so that's nice. But a lot of the channels, I'm thinking, yeah, even the good ones in some sense that I find that I'm like, okay, there might be some. The thing is, YouTube, or the internet where you can just see what you want to see is just, yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like some of the stories which are in where you have Hebrew speaking and you see the English subtitles is great for learning Hebrew. So he did all this just so we could be whole. That's actually good.
Place gave him the name that is above every name, that at the name of Jesus, every knee would bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, every tongue confess that Jesus is the master of all. This is the resurrection.
He's the creator.
The Son came and gave his life, that he extended an invitation to know the God of all creation, that he offered us love when we knew no peace, that he offered us relationship when all we knew how to do was keep and break a bunch of rules. This is the resurrection, that in his death we have come to know life, that we can freely offer our life to him.
I guess a song is now coming, maybe.
All seen how water destroys. Now come see how it heals.
He was called the world's first pregnant man, and today he gave birth to four.
The whole way said there is an absolute constitutional right to same-sex marriage. Hurricane Harvey is pelting the Texas coast.
There is an increasing attack on freedom of religious speech.
Welcome to the Issachar Hour, examining law, policy, and culture through the lens of the Judeo-Christian worldview to help you understand the times and know what you ought to do.
Well, actually, it doesn't sound too bad in regards of going against. We're closing off.
Good day, good night, good morning, hello, whatever part of the world you are in. This is the
Oh well.
hour. We got
Maybe I'm just
1:50
too tired.
today.